Hi, I'm Kimberly, and I went through over 10 years of extreme chronic illness and have since fully come out of that and am now sharing my story online to help others. So I got a specific question of how people get around actual physical things like leaky gut with psychological techniques. So brain retraining is a huge aspect of what it was that I did to help myself heal. It was in combination with other things. However, I do not believe that I would be where I'm at today without brain retraining at all. So the full question, it's not very long, but here it is. I get confused with how people get around actual physical things like leaky gut with psychological techniques. I mean, how does that work? The brain-gut axis is real, but the gut needs time to seal and heal before eating aggravating foods. So this is absolutely true. I did not say like, oh, I'm going to futurize this, this aspect of wanting to eat these foods and then immediately go eat the foods like the next day or the next week. It took time to do that. So I had severe food sensitivities, severe leaky gut. I was down to eating 10 food items, which were meats and cooked vegetables of mostly like broccoli, cruciferous, it was very, very small amounts of anything that I could eat, 0 carbs, 0 sugars. So how did I get from the place of 10 food items to now eating anything and everything that I want, which was my manifestation, my futurizations that I had. So when we are brain retraining, we have different training zones. So let's say that this is where we're at currently. This is our current real reality, right? And then this is like our ultimate goal. So I have an actual video that I did, what's called the Closing the Gap exercise. So after this video, feel free to check that out. We didn't use the leaky gut aspect here in food, but I used another example. And you can follow through with the PDFs on that to close the gap. So how do we close the gap between the leaky gut here all the way to I eat whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want? So the initial training zone is going to be small at the beginning here. A training zone is where we are actively brain retraining at the moment. So in the very beginning, there's not really going to be a lot of action things. So action things are going to be a little later on in the process, like actual physical actions that we are taking in our lives towards that goal. Initially, for many people, including myself, it is futurizing. So futurizing is creating future memories, bringing yourself into the future, doing something while you're still here. So it would be, my practice of futurizing was often writing things down, lying on the floor, and then like scripting them over in my head and like seeing like the futurizations, like seeing myself eating a food. And I'd start with like one little thing. So eating a food that I wanted to eat. So let's say that was blueberries. Seeing myself eating blueberries, seeing it on the plate. The other very important part to this is not just seeing myself eating the food, but seeing my body actually healing itself as well. So I am a visual person. There's many different ways to futurize. It does not have to be visualization where you see images in the head, because not everybody sees images in the head. Some people are very auditory, so they hear things more. So whether that's a voice of somebody, a voice of themselves in their head, like, music in their head, tones in their head, hearing, if they listen to a podcast or a class or a workshop or something like that, hearing the voice of the person that they learned something from. So maybe it's a documentary and you're hearing the words of how the healing happens. The other thing is kinetics. So you might have a kinetic version of futurizing where you really feel it in the tissues. So it would be like, I feel the lining of my gut starting to heal. And you can do this while looking at a picture of the gut so that you can see the lining, but you don't have to like bring that image up in your mind. It can be like actually physically looking at an image of the gut and how the gut works, and reading about the gut and reading how that works, and then playing the words back in your head, or feeling that in your body as you're looking at the images or hearing the words, just like feeling in your body what that feels like to feel healthy, for your gut lining to feel healthy. What did it feel like at some point when you could optimally digest your food? So we have futurizing is visual, it can be auditorial, or it can be kinetic. And some people can do all three, some people can do one or two, some people are really better at one, and then the second one's kind of like, yeah, I can use that one in there too. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You can make it work for yourself, whichever way it is that you futurize. So as I was futurizing, I was a visualizer. So I would visualize, because I watched lots of documentaries, I saw lots of pictures on the gut and how it works all the way, from putting it in our mouth until it comes out, and really like getting an idea of seeing that intestinal lining healing up. So the holes in the gut lining, were big gaps there. And if you're a word person, an auditory person, you can say gaps. I see, there's gaps in my gut. And now those gaps are slowly closing as inflammation goes down, as my body learns that it is safe, that it can heal itself. So that might be your futurization, is like there's gaps and the gaps are slowly closing. So it'd be hearing those words. Kinetically, feeling like something that's got holes in it, like a sponge or something, and then like feeling those holes becoming smooth, a nice smooth like texture of something, maybe like slime or like a pink slime or something like that. It could be something that you could like get a texture on. So I would lie there and I would say, I'd kind of combine a lot of these together, but I would very much visualize the gut and the holes in the gut, and that they were closing, that the inflammation was going down, that the gut was repairing itself, the different tissues in the gut. I would visualize the histamine from the white blood cells deciding that, okay, I don't need to react to this. I can go back into hiding mode. I don't need to be actively here, like reaching out for every single thing that Kimberly like eats and puts in her body, and highly reacting to all of it. Like, okay, I can retreat a little bit here. It's safe. I'm safe in the body. So that was my initial training zone, was the futurizing here on the floor, that, that's what was happening. And I would do this every day. There's like an action step in the beginning. So you have this first training zone, visualizing, just getting down what's your futurizing, just getting down your futurizations. Next could be, okay, well, I'm actually eating my food. This is like a first action step, is I'm going to futurize as I'm eating. And so I'm going to tell my body in whatever way that is, visually, kinetically, auditorially, that I am safe, that my body, the holes in the gut lining are closing up, the inflammation's going down, the white blood cells are retreating back to a place in the body where they don't need to be active and hitting every single thing that is getting put into the body. So they're retreating, they're calming down, the body's going into parasympathetic. That's the action, is I'm eating, and I'm also going to be using my futurizing, my brain retraining here in this moment. And this is where things changed for me, was that I was actively using these throughout the day. If I would be feeling irritated, if I was having irritated in my gut, and irritated emotionally too because of it, but inflammation, bloating, gas, irritation, just like I had constant discomfort. Like I was not digesting my food. It was coming out with like looking like pieces of food that I had chewed. So I would see the food, visualize, futurize the food coming through my body taking up the nutrients that it needed, and then allowing that to move through my body and the waste to go out of my body. Now, another action step beyond that I was taking is I was doing Wim Hof breathing, or alkalizing breaths. Now, this was something that tremendously helped for me. Another thing that I do not believe I would be where I was today without this. So I was doing the futurizing, while I was eating, and then I was also doing the breath work. So alkalizing breath work is where we bring in lots of oxygen. I have a video on this, I'll link it down below. We bring in lots of oxygen in like a 20 to 30 breath intake. And then we hold the breath, and in that breath hold, you can use, and again, I have the links down below for this so that you can follow along with this. Use your futurizing, use your body learning that it can alkalize during the breath hold, because in this moment of holding the breath, your body goes into a intentional state of shock. You are in control of this. You are allowing the body to reboot in this moment, because it is going into this moment of, wait, what's going on? Hold on. I need to be present here in this moment. The body is needing to be present in the moment. The mind is needing to be present in the moment. It allows for it to stop its non-beneficial patterns of behavior, those white blood cells coming out and releasing histamine, the holes in the gut for, inflammation in the gut, bloating in the gut to happen, because it has to stop for a moment, because you need to be in survival now in this moment. So it is an opportunity for us to reboot and really get down into those neural pathways, like there, here, and now. So this is what I did every day. I would do the breath work, I do multiple rounds, and I would see myself healing. I would see the alkalizing energy happening in the body, actually physiologically happening in the body, chemically happening in the body, and allowing the body to take up that oxygen and utilize that to alkalize the body so that it wasn't going into these old patterns. So it's a really, really cool way to tap into that. So after you're doing, the futurizing while you're eating, breath work, like there's going to be different increments in your brain retraining. We can't go through all of them or all the different variabilities or possibilities. But then at some point after this, there is going to be, okay, I think I might be ready to put some of this food on my plate. I might be ready to shop for some of this food. I might be ready to even cook with some of this food, even though I might still not choose to eat it, but you're getting more comfortable with it. There is the different safe levels of food as well. So there's the foods that you're currently eating which feel like really, really safe. You're digesting them the best that you possibly could at the moment. Then there is, the foods that are okay, I can maybe eat these every once in a while. I don't feel the best of them, but I can have them here and there. I'm not going to have a severe response to it. Then it's the next level, okay, these are more pronounced when I eat this. Then it's this is getting uncomfortable. I'm going to be uncomfortable. And then it's an absolute no kind of, there's a trajectory of things to add in. We're not going to add in the things that are at the top here. We're going to add in the things that are just above that safe list here, just above what I can currently eat and feel pretty okay. This is what I'm surviving on right now. It's just above that survival. And so this is going to be the first thing when you get past these first couple stages here that is added in. And this time is different for everybody, and once you get to adding in the first foods and you've been doing this diligently and really feeling and seeing the body healing in these different ways, then things start to progress faster. So then it's okay, I think I can kind of start adding in these things here. I'm really gonna slowly eat my food. I'm gonna chew my food as much as I can, because chewing is a huge part of why our body starts to have this leaky gut, because we're bringing in food molecules that are too big for our body, and so our body's having a response to them. And then it's, okay, I'm going to keep doing these steps. You don't stop doing these steps as you're here now, and you're adding in the foods that are just above that safe list here. So now we're adding those in. Then it's okay, I'm feeling good with that. And my body's healing. I can see shifts. I can feel shifts. Things are changing. My body's digesting better. I'm noticing little things, even if it's I was constipated for years and now I'm going to the bathroom, or I was so bloated that I was experiencing indigestion, massive indigestion after every meal. And now all of a sudden it's oh wait, it's way less. My pants are not getting tight like that. I'm not having the gas that I was having. It's much better. The stools may have shifted slightly. So then it's now, okay, I'm going to add in things that are a little bit higher on the list. And again, this is where things start to change. For me, it was 2000, the end of 2019, that I kind of started adding little things in that I wasn't eating, still things that were, just in these first couple categories. And then it was, the winter of 2021 that I added in my very last extreme like food sensitivity response, which was dairy. So I went from, you know, here to here. It took over 2 years, you know, to get there. But I did it at a pace that felt good for me. So it doesn't happen overnight, and everybody's trajectory and timeline is different. Some people have this happen in 6 months, you know, or even less. Some people, like Joe Dispenza has like a bunch of reviews. Highly recommend looking at Joe Dispenza like recovery stories, because some people have instant recoveries. It is possible to have that happen. Tumors shrink instantly. People heal from something that they were told they would not heal from instantly. It is absolutely possible to do. Not all of us can tap into that belief. I did not tap into that and have that happen, though I did have more like of those miraculous things happen like towards the end, where things were just shifting like really fast. But I had every system of my body out of whack and everything like that, and, you know, experiencing so many different things. There were so many different beliefs to break through, so many different ways to retrain my body to respond differently, and that is what we are doing. It's not just psychological. We are retraining our body to say that it's safe, so that we don't have those histamine responses happening, because our body is in fight or flight constantly. So that is kind of like a trajectory using the example of leaky gut to get from here to here. And again, if you want to check out that close the gap exercise, the link to that video is down below, and then that will have the that video will have the PDFs linked on them. So I highly recommend checking that out, following along with that. You can pause the video and see, you know, fill it out as we're going together, so that you have some camaraderie in it. And please like this video if it was something that helped. Please comment down below. This really helps with the algorithms. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, if you've used brain retraining, and if you've had leaky gut and had shifts and changes in your reality with that as well. I do wellness coaching, so if you are interested in receiving some support from me in your brain retraining practices, or practices in other ways as well, please reach out. The links down below for that. All right, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.